Yo, this is the Scarcity Studios YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. And our sponsors at Alpha Claims and Hire Birmingham, the leading and best accident management company. Get a replacement car anywhere in 1 hour. For 3 years, the British government has been trying to locate rare books that were stolen from a West London warehouse back in 2017. On the 16th of September, they had traced these books back to northern Romania. Police raided a 2-storey house on the outskirts of a village in București. In the garage, they used sledgehammers to smash their way through the concrete floor. They were stacked neatly and wrapped in shopping bags, and there was estimated to be worth over £2.5 million worth of books, including priceless editions of Galileo and Isaac Newton. The books had disappeared 3 years earlier from the London postal warehouse when thieves climbed a 15-metre wall, cut through glass skylights and abseiled in over a 4-hour period. They became known in the media as the Mission Impossible gang. They located the books and got them out the same way they came in, through the roof. It wasn't the gang's first warehouse burglary, and it wouldn't be the last. But the heist made headlines in January of 2017 due to the method and the prize also. Typical warehouse thieves targeted laptops and electronic equipment rather than rare books, and the fact the gang was able to avoid high-tech motion sensors invited comparisons to films like Mission Impossible. Detective Inspector Andy Durham at London's Metropolitan Police said, "The things that stand out are the things that are a little bit different. That provides the interest to the public." He went on to say that if you look at some of the books, they are fascinating visually and what you read about and when they were written. For 3 years, Durham led the investigation into the book heist alongside the Romanian and Italian authorities. The first wave of arrests came in June 2019, and in January 2020 the ringleader of the gang was arrested by the Italian Carabinieri in Milan. The books were found on the 16th of September this year, and sentencing of the 12-strong gang begun on Monday the 28th of September at Kingston Crown Court in London. Sentencing is expected to take place over several days. The lead investigator was not present at the raid due to travel restrictions from COVID-19. Either way, he said the recovery of the books after so many months of work was very satisfying. "It's extremely exciting," he said, "for all of us. It's a pinch yourself moment, and still is," he said. In Romania, the gang was a significant criminal pedigree. The man thought to be the ringleader, Gavril Popescu, who is 45 years old, is the godson of Ian Clamperu. He is one of the country's most notorious criminals and currently serving a 30-year prison sentence for running a European prostitution ring that trafficked thousands of women and girls from Romania to Europe. Romanian police believe the gang was formed in 2016 in Romania and carried out multiple robberies and break-ins in warehouses across the UK. They used the same method in all of the robberies, breaking in through the roof and abseiling in and out of the warehouse. They tended to target electronic equipment, and it is not clear why in January 2017 they stole rare books. They said, "We have not determined yet if this robbery was ordered by someone else, but based on the evidence gathered so far and the way they went about it, it's pretty obvious it wasn't a random crime," said Emil Tudor from the Criminal Investigation Division. Police believe the books had been buried in the București garage since soon after they were stolen. Unlike laptops and computer equipment, the rare books were very difficult to sell on, especially ones stolen in a high-profile heist. They were possibly waiting for the attention to die down surrounding the case. An expert said that it would be very difficult for them to sell them in the normal arena because the community is very small and they are fully aware of the theft. The lead investigator of the case said that although 12 gang members have pled guilty and are due to be sentenced, they have not revealed either their motives or the plans for the books. It might just well be that there was a good bunch of warehouse thieves and the order on that particular occasion was books rather than electronic equipment. The fate of the books and their value was one of the primary reasons the investigation took so long. Although investigations had begun to piece together the gang's membership within a few months, they couldn't risk moving in too early and to avoid capturing them. The gang carried out a number of thefts during that time, from 2017 to 2019, even after the police were aware who they was. They was described as meticulously planned, and they had intelligence in similar communities where ancient artifacts had been destroyed rather than allow them to be recovered and used as evidence against them. The burglary on January 2017 was very well planned, and the computer records retrieved from gang members show they spent time researching locations on Google Earth and Google Maps before they arrived in the UK. They also managed to get £2.5 million worth of rare books out of the country as well, and into a basement without anybody noticing. He said the gang were good at what they did, and on the other hand, knowing that motion sensors are on the corner of warehouses and on CCTV tends to be concentrated on the entrances, that was very common sense. On more than one occasion during these robberies, they left soft drinks in the warehouses they burgled, and this gave the police DNA profiles, which they then linked to them. Hundreds of rare books were taken in the sophisticated heist by the crime gang, who carried out 11 other raids the court heard during their trial. The group broke in while cutting holes into the roofs of warehouses and abseiling down. 12 burglaries in which £3.3 million worth of goods were taken were conducted between December the 26th and April 2019. Most of them had flown from Romania to the UK. This is known as tourism burglary, and we covered a story on this recently in relation to Romanian gangs. The rare works were from the 17th century Italian philosopher Galileo, along with Sir Isaac Newton and the 18th century Spanish writer Francisco Goya. They were taken in a warehouse burglary in Fountain, West London, and they were waiting to be sent to Las Vegas for a specialist book auction. The company in charge of the books was called Frontier Forwarding, and it was attacked by an international mafia gang, the court was told during the trial. All of them pleaded guilty to conspiracy to commit burglary and one count of conspiracy to disguise, transfer and remove criminal property, and they admitted both charges. The prosecution, Catherine Farrelly, said all the premises they targeted were commercial premises, and the goods stolen in most of the burglaries were desirable, high-end and portable electronic goods, such as tablets, computers, laptops and smartphones. The primary exception to this was the second burglary at Frontier Forwarding, which concerned the theft of the rare books with significant cultural importance. The network was overseen by a man called Gavril, and he has criminal convictions in Romania from 2015 for setting up organised crime groups, and the rest of them were convicted for organising the burglaries and transporting stolen goods. The police described them as a Romanian organised crime group, and there was prominent Romanian crime families that formed part of a crime group in the country. The group is based in a region in eastern Romania and have a history of complex and large-scale value theft, yet they mainly avoid prosecution by offending outside of Romania. This was a combined operation by the Metropolitan Police, the Romanian National Police and the Italian Carabinieri, along with Europol and Eurojust. More than 3 years it took to track down these books into the Romanian countryside. And during the course of the investigation, various other offences were committed by the gang, and another £2 million worth of property was also stolen. This culminated in coordinated arrests and searches of 45 addresses in the UK, Romania and Italy in 2019. Other burglaries included a GPSK warehouse in Peterborough, where mobile phones and tablets were stolen, worth £150,000. After the theft of the rare books, over £250,000 of electronics were stolen from a refurbishing company, with hundreds of MacBooks, 520 iPhones, 240 Samsung tablets and 400 iPads were taken as well. Another raid in northwest London saw £26,000 in cash and goods stolen as well. Around £60,000 worth of Lenovo tablets was taken, and 11 grand in damage caused to a warehouse in St Albans in July of the same year. The gang was jailed for an average of 5 years and 8 months for their roles in this heist. But this isn't the first time, and there's plenty of examples of Romanian gangs using daredevil feats in order to try to obtain large amounts of electronics and make a lot of money. And footage that goes all the way back to 2012 shows them using the form of theft on camera. Dutch police compared the heist to something out of the Fast and Furious films, and the men stole £600,000 worth of iPhones from a moving truck. Police described the gang as Romanian, and they allegedly used a modified van to keep up with the speed of the truck and stole iPhones on the A73 highway in the Netherlands. Back in 2017, during the nighttime raid, police saw one of the suspects climb aboard the moving truck, open the rear door and pass boxes of iPhones to his accomplices in the van with the door open. The theft occurred in The theft occurred on July the 24th, 2017, and the men were arrested on Saturday in central Netherlands, and their van was containing iPhones. This was the first evidence the police had of the actual method being used. They just knew that trucks were turning up to the premises and they didn't have their contents anymore, but they didn't know how they was being robbed up until that point. And a video released by Romanian police showed a very similar thing going on. So this isn't the first story that we've got about Romanian burglary tourism, and I'm sure it's not going to be the last. I really want to hear what people have to say on this story. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe, and follow us online as well at Scarcity Studios. I'll be back again very shortly with some more news. Peace.